Taylor Swift is a sellout. Duh. Duh. Anybody born in the 80s or early 90s and grew up with her music, grew up with her being in the music industry, grew up with seeing her at her first award show and every award show thereafter, knew. And it's just like when she faked an entire accent to try to fit in with country music. Her music wasn't ever really country. It was more pop country. So it was no surprise when she immediately started dressing and mimicking pop stars and then went over to the pop genre. It reminds me of Bill and Hillary Clinton. Do you remember when he was the Attorney General of Arkansas? Do you remember when he was the governor of Arkansas? Do you remember when his wife Hillary used to act like she was an all-American Southern belle and she had the whole really exaggerated accent and everything to go along with it? Why? Because she was fooling the constituents of the South, of that state, to help her husband look like he belongs. Not only as the Attorney General, but as the governor of Arkansas. And guess what? It worked. It worked. They duped people. Shit, that adulterer literally duped the American people into voting for him. But notice how quick Hillary lost that accent. Why? Because that accent was never hers. Same thing with Taylor Swift. It's not her, it's not personal to her, but it's a case study in how somebody can be so sociopathic and borderline, in my own opinion, from her actions, words, choices, and behaviors for the last 20 years. That is what's fascinating. But that is not exclusive or limited to how and why she got famous in the music industry. Because it is not talent and it is not hard work that got her there. If it was talent and hard work that got somebody fame, recognition, connections, wealth, acquired just off of that talent and hard work, well, then I think all 340 million American citizens would be famous and would be making enough money to not only survive, but to thrive in life. And that's not the case. You see the 1% wealthy stay in the 1%. You see their kids become in that 1% and stay in that 1%. And it continues on and on. But it's not talent and it's not hard work. Coming from a girl who self-admittedly skated by high school because she couldn't be possibly spending her afternoons doing homework, studying for quizzes and tests, when she was literally also self-proclaimed to be doing shows every night, to be writing music every night, to be learning guitar chords every single night. Coming from a person who did not even go to college, did not study or major in English, she literally says the word legitly. It's legitimately. That's not even an English word. While she's simultaneously trying to tell you that she understands the fate of Ophelia. The fate of Ophelia would not have been reversed if a man came and saved her. Misunderstanding and misinterpreting even the most elementary level of Shakespeare is not genius, and it's not intellect. It's not knowledge. And like I said, for people that have gone to college or people that have studied certain areas, they're speaking up their opinions about these things because not only do they see it, but they recognize what Taylor is doing to her fans, and that is not okay. Her fans are coming to the internet and slamming anybody that has valid criticisms and critiques over her actions, words, choices, behaviors, but let alone her music and her latest album, The Life of a Showgirl, which everybody has that fundamental right to have their thoughts, feelings, opinions, their critiques, and their criticisms under the First Amendment right to free speech. And to sit there and to tell people
objectively
that they
has,
are
and this person is a literal nobody, and
they don't matter, and then try to place all of this value on a sellout. And she's not only just a sellout and a capitalist, she's a fucking conformist. That's what she is. And that's what she has always been. When I have told you guys for years that it's fascinating to me that she is a chameleon, it's the behavior that is fascinating. And that That gaslighting and manipulation of her audience, of her fans, not people like me who do not buy her albums, who see right through that, her fans. And this is where I say, everybody's free to buy whatever they want, to listen to whatever they want. They are free to like whatever artists they want. But I don't agree with Taylor still choosing to do that. That speaks volumes to me more than anything a million fans of hers could ever do. Because it's not just parasocial, it's not just hive mind, it is cult mentality. When you find your fan base is sending literal threats to the life of a 1 and 3-year-old child, you know that what you're doing is wrong. You know that you could speak up and say, no, this is not okay, despite you not liking Scooter Braun. But the fact that you don't, that silence speaks a lot more than any words ever could. And then weaponizing that same fan base to turn around and loathe, despise, and hate that same fan base. Because she just wants to have the love of her life and have you, fan base, leave her the fuck alone. In fact, what's so crazy about that is she tells you all the time that it's because of them that she has to carry around a military grade kit in case something very horrible happens to her or anybody on her staff. Coming from somebody who has disability, who survived stage 2/stage 3 cervical cancer between the ages of 32 and 34, coming from somebody who was born with a genetic connective tissue disease that's very severe, coming from somebody who has never been outside of the United States other than on the other side of Detroit in Canada, which doesn't necessarily count to Michiganders, especially before you had to have a passport to be able to go over there. Coming from somebody who does not have the money to not only go to some of the most beautiful places on planet Earth, but to get in a plane to do it, and has ever been able to do that. That's the fundamental difference between good people and bad people. Some of the best people can have tattoos from their neck down, and yet some of the worst people can look like this. They know that selling you this all-American teenage dream girl next door, tall, white, blonde hair, blue-eyed, that is going to make you automatically perceive this as innocence, purity. Never mind the fact that she has been telling you she is obsessively compulsive, borderline personality disorder over men. So much so that she's been linked to over 300 men in the last 20 years, and she's gone on to write songs about somebody she went on a dinner date one time. The sociopathy, the using of her fans, weaponizing of her fans. If it wasn't for those nobodies, Taylor Swift wouldn't be anybody. Because for the rest of the 340 million American citizens and 8 billion people on planet Earth, nobody really gives a shit. Because, yeah, she might have broken records. Her fans might go out and buy 34 versions of this same exact album, same exact 12 songs for Lord only knows what. But that tells you right there that Taylor Swift is okay with doing that to her fans. You are idolizing a sellout. You are idolizing a capitalist. You are idolizing a conformist. You are idolizing somebody that has always, in my opinion, had a cluster B personality disorder. She's shown it. She's told you in all of her albums, every single one of her songs. It's always about her, what she wants, about having the man that she wants, about her feelings when she doesn't have it, her feelings of being heartbroken, but it goes way beyond normalcy and appropriate boundaries. And she gets away with that because she's a white, blonde hair, blue-eyed, tall female. But what do they say? Looks are deceiving. Don't judge a book by its cover. Some covers might be beautiful, but in the inside, shallow, vapid, hollow, and vain. So vain that I bet you think this song is about you. But guess what? If I'm a nobody, Taylor Swift is a fucking nobody. You're a fucking nobody. The President of the United States is a fucking nobody. The King of England is a fucking nobody. The Emperor of Japan is a fucking nobody.